Hello everyone and welcome back to Combat Mission Shock Force 2, where today we're going to be in a defensive position once again. This time as the Dutch. We have access to a single infantry platoon, mechanized infantry, an anti-tank platoon, and two Leopard 2A6 main battle tanks. So we've got a pretty small force to work with here. The one advantage that we do have is that we control the entire map except for this little portion here. So our setup zone was basically the entire map, and we know the enemy can only come from this highway over here. However, now comes the bad news. We are facing an entire Syrian Guards tank company, or a Republican Guard tank company, with T-72s, pretty modern T-72s. And a nearly full battalion of Syrian Republican Guard mechanized infantry. So that's infantry and BMP-2s. So that's an overwhelming enemy force. And I think the only chance we have of holding them is by concentrating all of our defenses on destroying them as they come out of this little bowl and crest the ridgeline here. Now, one option would be just setting up along this ridgeline and firing down into them, but that would just be chaos. What I want to do is keep a standoff distance with my weapon, with my long-range weapons here. So that would be the Jill ATGMs here, which work kind of like a javelin. They fire towards the target at a bit of an altitude, and then once they're at the target, they come down into it. So these things are really very capable, even when it comes to taking out main battle tanks, and they'll easily chew through BMPs. I've got them set up in all these long-range positions, not necessarily very well covered positions, but I'm hoping that with the superior optics that we have and the inferior optics that the enemy has, including the chaos that they will be in once they crest the ridgeline, they won't be able to spot, or if they do, they won't be able to do damage to these teams that are about, let's see, yeah, about 1.5 kilometers away from them. I've also set them up to the point that they can cover not the entire area, but just one part of it. They can take the enemy out as they crest this hill, but not before it, which means they're not exposed to as much enemy fire. Two tanks, kind of the same story. I've set them up here. I could set them up frontally, because you know they can easily deal even with more modern T-72s, but the thing is they can't deal with 15 of them at the same time. They'll just get overwhelmed, so I want to set them up in a position where they can pick off the enemy one by one. Then we finally come to our infantry platoon. Now that's going to be tasked with destroying the enemy if they get through and come to close range. We've got these CV-90s, 4 of them, which are easily capable of defeating BMP-2s, both armament-wise and optics-wise. They will easily outspot those BMP-2s. They don't have a lot of ammo for these 35mm cannons though, but they do have machine guns, which they can use to take out infantry if they push through. And we've also got our infantry squads kitted out with Panzerfaust anti-tank rocket launchers. Split them up in small teams and put them down to ground here, so they only engage the enemy as they crest the hill. On the left here, I've got the other half of the platoon. Now these guys are kind of tasked with getting side shots into anything that's trying to force itself onto the northeast road VP. I've made this guy crest the hill just a little bit, hoping that he might be able to take out some BMPs as they come up. If we see main battle tanks coming through here, we really want to reverse these. And we really also don't want to expose the infantry unless we're absolutely sure we've taken out the enemy's armor. Only after that can we get them up here to provide some flanking fire into whatever infantry is left, pushing into the objective here. We've got 2 other objectives here, which I hope the enemy won't reach, because if they get through here, that's basically my defense is gone. So I'm really banking on holding them inside that ball. I think that's our only chance with such an inferior number of forces. The forces that we have are far superior quality-wise, but numerically we are very much outnumbered. Yeah, that's about it. I think these vehicles here are just the vehicles that came with the ATGM teams. I just left them here. I took one of their drivers out, put him in here just to hold this objective. And I put company HQ for the mechanized infantry right here. So without further ado, let's start this battle and see where it gets us. Obviously already getting sound contacts, a lot of armor moving down here. I mean, the enemy is really stuck between a rock and a hard place here. They have no choice but to just roll up this hill and expose themselves. Let's see how intelligent they are about it. Make some contacts over here. I think that's just BMPs. Thing is, I'd really rather not waste those ATGMs on BMPs. I'd rather the CV90s were able to take those out. And as a matter of fact, they might be. It's our first spot right there. It's just been spotted by the CV90 for now. Let's hope it can take it out before anyone wastes an ATGM on it. These teams have about 5 rockets apiece, 5 missiles apiece. This guy only has 2. Most of them have 5 missiles, which hopefully will be adequate. We get the T-72 pushing up. Is anyone spotted? Yeah, it's been spotted by a Leopard, so it won't live long. Let's see. Spotting. Okay, and it's no longer spotted, unfortunately. Another BMP cresting the hill here. Has been spotted by the ATGM team. Let's see if they open fire. Aiming. Not seeing a missile. Okay, I think a tank just took a shot at that and missed. It did. These guys are still aiming and firing. It might have been another tank, and there we go, that's a Jill. See the missile flying towards its target right here. Trust me, that is going to hurt if it hits, and it does. These things rarely miss. Another T-72. They seem to be pushing the tanks up straight through the center. I'm kind of afraid that this guy might have spotted that HGM team, in which case they will be history. They will not survive a direct hit from a tank round. These T-72s, not actually that modern. They seem to have some okay optics, but no explosive reactive armor or anything along those lines. They are Republican Guard though, so they should be expected to have a more experienced crew than the regular Syrian army. Let's see if this GL team survives. Having a lot of contacts right now. Are still up so far. I may have exposed these guys a little bit too much. Reloading their GL, aiming. There we go. See the missile going slightly up. And I think they just got wiped out by a tank. There we are. Okay, they're somehow only lightly wounded. The missile just missed. I'm not actually 100% sure whether these are fire and forget missiles. I think they are. So the fact that the tank opened fire shouldn't have altered the course of the missile. I think it just missed because we just got unlucky. Let's see, these guys fired 1 missile. These guys only had 2 to begin with. These guys have not been engaged yet. Neither have these. The tanks have fired. This tank has fired 1 shot. This guy's taken out. CV90 is still up. So I'll keep it there for now. Another BMP moving up. It's a tank. Let's see how these guys manage to recover. Oh boy. That Geo really should have hit because now that tank's probably gonna get a shot off at this team. just a huge kill zone for enemy armor right here. BMPs are being brewed up by these 35mm autocannons. Unfortunately, seeing a few too many misses, both from the tanks and the GIL missiles. I was really expecting them to hit more of the targets. Yeah, these guys are gonna get wiped out, I'm afraid. There's no cover there for them. The only cover they had was superior firepower. And since they didn't manage to take that tank out, they just missed. That cost them heavily. All the smoke is really obscuring their vision here. I think that BMP just survived a direct hit from a GIL missile, which is extremely unexpected. And also highly rude. Alright, we seem to have a BMP pushing up on the right here. I think this guy might have a shot at it. Let's see. Yeah, he should have a shot at it. Just hasn't spotted it yet. I think a tank just took a shot at that. No, it couldn't have. Might have been a GIL. We're getting a lot of misses here. Near misses with these GILs. Which is really a waste of those missiles because they're, well, I'm sure they're very expensive, but we also don't carry a lot of them around with us. Just 3 missiles left in those 2 teams. This guy's basically combat ineffective. These guys have everything left, but they can only fire once the enemy pushes on further. And these guys have gotten into the fight as well. Now again, these guys' only cover is taking the enemy out before they get spotted, because they are wide in the open right there. Okay, we have a T-72 moving up. That's, yeah, alright. Should have paid more attention there, because I would have pulled this guy back if I'd seen that a tank was moving up in his direction. Cannot fight a T-72 head on with these 35mm cannons. But he gets taken out before it gets too close. 2 of them actually. These guys seem to be running away. These guys, that infantry team was probably a little too close to the CV-90 when it got hit. It really is a shame. They got taken out by a GIL. However, the GIL got spotted. It's now a GIL coming from this hilltop, taking out that tank. The problem here, by the way, is that these tanks, I don't think they can hit whatever is in this bowl right here, because this hill is obscuring their vision. Now I have kind of offset that imbalance by putting half of the infantry platoon here, but these guys can only react once the enemy crests this hill, because I cannot put them on the ridgeline here, as you can see by this dead CV-90. They can't face off with T-72s directly. Another GIL missing. It's another couple of probably tens of thousands of taxpayers' euros wasted. So a round going out towards... but it's actually an ATGM, I think. I think they just fired an ATGM at my ATGM team. Christ. Okay. But I think this guy was already down. I don't think the ATGM hit them. Called anti-tank guided missiles for a reason, and not anti-infantry missiles. Okay, we got a crewman running away. Oh no, it's not a crewman. It's one of the infantrymen. I really want to stay down and in cover, son. So get these guys back on a reverse slope. Up tanks here, but also a lot of tanks still intact. See another GIL coming in here. Let's hope that hits its target. There we go. Cover. Great. Big old tanks here have been taken out. They have. So now it's just whatever the enemy has got left behind this hill. What? Okay, that was just infantry. Probably a disembarked crewman. This tank is also dead. This team has been fully wiped out. These guys still have all their missiles. We can see some infantry movement now. Given they're still armored vehicles, I'm not going to push this guy or the infantry up just yet. Problem is they are able to encroach in this position right now. I don't know what that missile was aimed at. There's no intact armored vehicles here anymore. Really like them not to waste their missiles on infantry. The CV-90 is now getting a shot. To knock that out. Probably ending the infantry. Another TMP-2 taken out, and there we have another main battle tank, which fortunately got deleted by a jail missile. One more tank. So these guys still have one missile left. One more missile. I think, yeah, that was a tank taking that out. It's really encouraging that once the enemy gets beyond this point, they are in view of those tanks, which is why I put them there. They can approach relatively safely. I say relatively safely with all these burned out wrecks here. Up until this point, after that, there's just too much firepower aimed at them. They cannot get through. The only thing I'm worried about is infantry pushing through. I might actually want to move up my tanks in a minute. I'm also kind of worried that they're outflanking me here. There's one other thing that I'm lacking, because I've only got one infantry platoon. I can't defend everything, so I put half a platoon here, half a platoon over there on that flank. And right here I've only got tanks. There's a good chance that the enemy will be able to sneak infantry up here without me being able to do much about it. That is a serious worry for me. Let's see, what are we doing up here? These guys are still a-okay. Don't think they've been spotted yet. I'll only get into the fight once the enemy comes into the objective. I think I might push up the CV-90 just a tiny bit. I'll leave this guy here. They're in one hell of a crossfire right here. Yeah, okay, the infantry is now becoming engaged with enemy. Let's see what this is. A headquarters squad of some kind. Probably an infantry platoon headquarters squad, since it does have an RPG in it. Some infantry over here. PKM gunner. Fortunately, being spotted by the tanks. That's already dead. Please don't shoot that anymore. You're gonna need those rounds in case a T-72 or an intact BMP shows up. Alright, let's quickly check out the jail teams. Out of ammo, 1 HGM left. They do have a casualty though. Let's see, is he treating that? He's still cowering. I'll move these guys up to help out. These guys up here have taken a casualty. Still have ammo left. This guy also has 1 jail missile left. Let's hope that this guy will start treating his buddy in a minute. These guys have fired one of their missiles. These guys haven't. But they're nice to have in reserve, just in case there's a last minute enemy push with vehicles. I really want to hold them at this objective though. I don't even want them to get in here. Are trying to push in. This might be vehicle. That's not vehicle crew, that's actually infantry. But my infantry is in a great position here. They're lying down, just waiting for the enemy to come in. The enemy just cannot spot them right here. Not until they get fired at which point it's too late, because they're also going to be shot at by the machine guns on these leopards. I've also provided them with extra ammunition so they don't have to get back to the CV-90s. Hopefully. Unless the battle lasts really long. Now let's have a quick look here. Maybe the things we destroyed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At least 9 enemy T-72s destroyed. I'm not sure how many tanks there are in a Syrian Syrian tank company, but I'm assuming it's not much more than 12. Maybe 4 platoons of 3 or 3 platoons of 4, something like that. Maybe 2 command tanks, maybe 14 tanks. In which case we're still missing some, but we've taken out most. And BMP wise, we have taken out a lot. They can't have much left. And if they do, they don't seem to be in a hurry to push it up right now. They are pushing with infantry though. I'm worried about this flank, this right flank. This frontal position I can hold. Got a lot of firepower trained at that. I can hold this flank, this infantry right here. I'm just kind of lacking firepower on this side. I think I'm actually gonna move this CV-90 up there. Keep an eye out. And I'll move 1 infantry squad with it, I guess. In a reverse slow position. Still got 3 teams of infantry covering this area. Should be enough. Don't see any further armor moving up, so it might be... It might? Oh no, it's a knocked out tank. I think it just got knocked out. Yep, just got knocked out. So they're still moving in their armor piecemeal. Which again is why I'm hesitant to push up the CV-90 and his infantry. CV-90 already has a pretty good position here. It's got a great shots at whatever's up here, and it's covered from whatever's up there. It's a great position. The infantry there should have a shot, I think. They just haven't spotted the enemy yet. And the infantry over here, I kind of want to keep here until I'm sure there's no more vehicles coming. Absolutely annihilated that squad of infantry. Now, these Syrians may be Republican Guard. You know, it's top tier by Syrian standards, but they still can't compare to NATO infantry. Alright, there we are. 59 men okay, 9 killed. It's kind of a steep cost here. 1 armored vehicle lost, that's at CV-90. And I think its crew also was lost, so that's 3 of those 9 men already. Enemy has 62 men okay, 87 killed, 21 wounded, 10 tanks lost, 15 armored vehicles lost. Let's take a quick review of the map here. If I'm not mistaken, we destroyed every single armored vehicle the enemy had. They just have this Jeep left. That's pretty insane. They were annihilated. All I got left was whatever infantry survived from those BMPs, and those didn't manage to push up very far. These are just, yeah, routed crewmen. Some infantry, machine gun platoon, I think, up here, which is still relatively intact. Some infantry. This platoon was annihilated in the attack on this VP. This platoon was also badly mauled. Alright. It may actually not have been a full battalion. It may just have been a company of Syrian mechanized. Now that I think of it. Because this is not the size of an infantry battalion. Nevertheless, I think we did a great job here with a heavily outnumbered force by using what we had wisely. Setting up these ATGMs at long range so that they weren't as easily spotted. Unfortunately, they were still spotted. But I think that was also due to the fact that so many of them missed their missiles. I think I saw 3, 4, maybe 5 of those GL missiles miss their targets and land right next to them. At that point, the enemy has a muzzle flash to shoot at. A huge smoke cloud from when that missile's fired. And if they're not hit, they can return fire. And I think that cost us some of these ATGM teams. Or part of them. We lost that one entirely. Other than that, I think the Leopards did their job. With hindsight, might have been a good idea to set at least one of them up, perhaps over there or here with the CV90s, so that it could shoot at whatever this one couldn't see. That might have been a better idea in hindsight. I put them up there together because I wanted to combine their firepower. In case one of them missed, the other could hit, and they wouldn't get overwhelmed by enemy fire. That was kind of the idea behind that. The infantry never really had to fight very heavily. These guys fought off that initial assault. Did very well. But overall, if we look at kills, yeah, they did get a lot of kills there. Even a BMP2. These guys didn't. These guys didn't. These guys probably didn't either. No. So that's the only infantry team that did anything of significance. These guys were basically here to engage once the enemy got up real close, and they didn't manage to do that, except for this squad right here. Alright, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.